Hello Linux lovers, my name's Wimpy, welcome to my world, welcome back everyone. Sorry you missed that, Esme. I need to do something about controlling what you can do in those starting screens. Anyway, hello Paul. Good morning. Right, a week ago and one day, I had a disastrous stream. Not only did I sit through a power cut, but utterly failed to do what I intended to do, which was to package some plugins for OBS Studio on NixOS. I'm in a different location today, where so far there have been no power cuts, so that should be good. And I have made some progress in the intervening time, so we're going to go back and look at the progress that's been made on packaging some plugins for OBS, the pull requests that have been made, and then I'm going to be failing fast at packaging more plugins for OBS on Nix today. The goal is to very quickly scaffold a Nix package that should build, confirm that it builds and it produces what I think looks like an OBS Studio plugin, and then move on to the next one. I'm not going to do any testing of the plugins in VMs or anything like that today. I'm just going to try and build, and as soon as I hit any kind of complexity in the build process, I'm just going to move on to the next one, because there are tons to do. I have done a bunch, and Takov's been helping, so that's all ace. But, you know, I need to press on. So, that's the objective for the day. Let's have a look. See, I see a lot of the usual suspects. So, hello Mix the Pick, hello Xeldro, thank you for stopping by. Hopefully I won't embarrass myself today. Whole bunch of your plugins are already done and pull requests are in motion. I'll look at that in just a moment. Hey Esme, hey Nuno, hey Foo Dog Squared. Welcome to the stream. So, without further ado, let's take a look at where we've got to so far. So, just get on the right virtual screen. Okay, where am I doing this? Not here. I'm doing this in a different GitHub repository entirely. Oh, nobody saw that. There we go. So, let's have a look. Here's the repository I'm working on. And in here, I've got a project which is this flaking loaded. And this is where we're tracking how things are going. So if we take a look in the projects here, Takov and I have made a start. So the must-have list. Oh, crikey, Takov's done some other things by the looks of it. So the must-have list is much shorter than it was the other day. So Takov has clearly done a few more bits. So we've only got 2 from the must-have column, which have not been started yet. Takov, it looks like, has done a few more. So these are the ones that I've been working on with my avatar next to them. These have all got pull requests in the NixOS repository. Takov has done waveform, and it looks like Takov has done sound to scale as well. He has. Here's his PR here. So, this might collide with the advanced. It shouldn't, because it's Nix. Seems to be a drop-in replacement based on the naming. Okay, well, I'll look at that. So, Takov's done that one, and it looks like Takov is making a start. Oh no, I made a start on this one. I forgot about that. This one's a bit awkward because it's ancient, so it needs tinkering with. Anyway, and this is one that I started, and it's an example of where I failed fast. There's a requirement on Pango, and CMake doesn't find the build dependencies, and I didn't want to burn time learning what that issue was. I just wanted to get as many done as quickly as possible. So that's the pattern we'll follow today. So if we take a look at a few of these, they follow a similar process. I link to where the plugin comes from. I then create a branch in my own fork of Nix packages. And then we do a build to demonstrate that it builds, and then we get the proof that the Nix review works, and then we submit a pull request. So if I open this one, here's the pull request for this particular plugin. So I fill out all of the paperwork, so to speak, provide some evidence, and this is now sitting pending waiting. And I think there was one that actually has made it all the way through the process so far, which is source clone. So that was the one that's gone all the way through, and this one was important because it was the one that had my maintainer details added to the Nix repository as well. So that now makes it possible.
Thank you for the follow, SSSH 2001.
Thanks very much for the follow and welcome to the stream. So that's sort of where we are. So I need to go and have a look at what needs to be built next. So let's just close down these bits. We won't be needing these, or this. I think we can access everything we need through this project here. So it looks like my intention, because I've forgotten as it's been a bank holiday weekend, was to start on RGB levels. And I may have to refer to another project of mine for this, because this is actually a really old plugin and it sort of had to be pushed around a bit to actually build on a modern version of OBS. So I have another project which builds this, which is in here. Studio Portable. Pretty sure my builder for this knows how to do all of this stuff. Now I've seen there's a bunch of messages, so I'm just going to take a moment to go back and look at the chat. Hang on a second, because I see there's a right, okay. You like the shirt, Mick? Yeah, it's a favorite. Everyone comments on this one when this one pops out. Yeah, Esme, Ranch is good stuff, and Nuno will know that, of course. Right then, let's have a look. Okay, so there's some back and forth about how wonderful Rancher is. Esme spots, yes, there is an Intel Arc. Yeah, that's an X-Display model I picked up for cheap. So yeah, having a play with all the GPUs again. That one specifically for AV1 encoding is what I want to have a play with, because I haven't investigated what the state of support for AV1 encoding is in NixOS, so I'm going to be taking a look at that, seeing if it needs any work. Hey Cassie Dev, welcome. Yes, so Nuno, Brett Fisher has contacted me. So hang on, I should just bring this up. So
thank you for the follow, Linux Matters.
What? Hang on a minute. I'm confused. I can only imagine that Popey's up to something. I'm guessing, but I don't know. I'll get back to that in a moment. So Nuno, Brett Fisher has contacted me. I'm speaking to Brett. We'll sort something out. But yeah, Brett wants to do a stream on Nix and NixOS. Yeah, so I am aware. Thank you. Right then. Let's just see here. What have we got? Okay. Hey Padger, how you doing? Welcome back. Right then. Okay. I think we're all caught up.
Thank you for the follow, Chaotic Track.
Hey Chaotic Track. So, who followed as Linux Matters? Who was that? Who's registered Linux Matters on Twitch, you cheeky whatnot? So, Linux Matters is the name of a podcast that I do with my friends. So, in fact, today is release day for the next episode of Linux Matters. So, you can find Linux Matters here. Here we are. And later today, there will be an episode 2 making an appearance. So, after doing the Ubuntu podcast for 13 years. We took a hiatus and we're back as Linux Matters. Yep, so like and subscribe and all those good things. Right then. So who was that? Who was subscribing as Linux Matters? Right then, let's crack on then. Let's go and run through this process. So the other thing I've done is we'll just open up. I've opened up that. That's fine. We'll switch over to VS Code. The other thing I've done is I've, in air quotes, documented the basic process, sort of the cookie cutter process for dealing with OBS Studio plugins. And plugins from what my lights go in here. It's weird when the lights go here because I'm not used to it. Hey, Pyrus Masquerade, welcome back. So when there's a plugin from Exeldro, who is or was in the stream earlier, his plugins have all got like a common build pattern, so you can literally copy and paste, maybe have to adjust for some build dependencies, but they sort of follow a familiar flow, so they can be banged out quite quickly. And Norihiro is similar as well. Hey, Exeldro, thanks for sticking with me. Norihiro is similar as well, has got a common build pattern, so that, and they're prolific plugin authors, both of them. So a whole bunch of the plugins that I want to package, I can actually copy and paste from those two developers quite easily. And then some of the others, they are discrete. They're bespoke. They're always slightly different. And the one I'm about to tackle is very old and very clunky in terms of its CMake configuration. So it requires a bit of fiddling about. So with that in mind, let's have a think. What do we need to do? We need to branch our repo. So here's my local copy of master, and I need to stick to a known naming convention. So this is actually the name that we're going to have to use. So we'll go and branch this as this name. And you can see I caught up. Oops, that didn't. There we go. Oh, failed to create. Oh, I've already done this one, have I? Okay, there it is. All right then. So that I should probably catch up with master. So let's just do that, because that branch I must have created a few days ago. Okay, that's done. So the next thing to do is go and edit the entry point for the NixOS plugins and add this in the right spot. So we want to stick this one just here. And what this is doing is this is adding this plugin to the all packages index for NixOS, and this is so that Nix packages all of the automation in GitHub knows how to find and build this package. So there is an entry point which is a massive list of packages, and this, hey Takov, good to have you here. I've got questions for you in a bit, I think. And this is so that these can be found and built. So this is just creating an index for it. And now what we'll have to do is, what directory am I in? Not the right one. So we need to go to here, probably into the plugins directory, in fact. And then we'll do the this one. I'm just in my mind, I'm just thinking ahead to what I need to do. So I think what we'll do is we'll go and grab from another one of these. So let's think. How complex is this? Not very. So I'll grab one of Xeldro's plugins and start with that as a base and then adapt it. So we're just going to grab this previous plugin that I have put together for gradient filter, and we'll drop that in here, and then we'll go and change the names. So this naming needs to be consistent. There are rules for how plugins should be named in the repository. So I don't know what the version number is, so I'll come back for that in a moment. The author's going to need to change because I can't remember who the author. Oops. So I found out that these SHA-256 hashes come in multiple different variations, flavors, if you like. So, as was suggested to me on the last stream, I don't think we're going to be using those particular CMake flags. We'll need different ones. We'll assume that that's, in fact, we'll comment that out for the time being as well, because that may need adjusting. So, let's go and grab what we need to know. Who's the author? Petrified Penguin. And the version, I don't think there is one. We're going to have to go off a commit reference. Yeah. So we'll copy that and oops. I think the version needs to be different from the revision. So because this is going to be from a commit, we're going to be doing this. And what I've learned is for anything that doesn't have a tag, you need to put the date of the commit that you're referencing as an unstable reference. So when was this? May 19th, 2020. I think that is the correct format. So let's go and grab the repository URL. And once I've just filled out the basics here, I'm just going to take a look and see what Takov's had to say, because and we need a description of this plugin. There it is. I tend not to rewrite whatever upstream has. Oh, there we go. There's a better example. Okay. So that gives us the basics. So before I go building, I'm just going to go back and see. There were some questions. Hey Tommy, how you doing? Good to see you again. Right. Okay, Xeldro, this is an excellent question. So if there's something you need in my plugins to make packaging easier, just let me know. There is only one thing I can think of off the top of my head, and that is when you do releases into the OBS Studio plugins resources on the OBS Studio site, you will obviously designate what the version number is. And not all of the plugins that you publish have a tag in Git to reference that release version. So if you could tag all your plugins as you release them in Git, that would be amazing. It would make it easier to package them for Debian and also NixOS. Because as you see, going by commit references looks a bit ugly. Looks a bit ugly. So that's the only thing. Other than that, your CMake that I've seen other people are now stealing as sort of a reference implementation is excellent. So zero issues there. Thank you for asking, by the way. Hey Takov. So what does Takov have to say? I have some concerns about PR merging approved Nix package I've seen a few days or even half a year's time. So this is true. I have seen there are some changes in Nix packages that I would be benefiting from that I've languished. However, I'm in a slightly privileged position due to where I work and who I work with. So I will ensure that these ones that I'm working on get shuffled through. And one of the things I'm going to start doing within the NixOS community is being like a janitor for aging requests and trying to help get stuff pushed through. But don't worry about these ones. That one that's already been merged, that was because I had a polite conversation with somebody that I worked with last week. So these will get through, don't worry. Definitely gonna happen. Right then. Hey TCAS, thanks very much. Thanks very much. That's very kind of you. Right then. Let's crack on. So at this point, I think I can have a go at building this. And if I just refer back to my little README, it says here that the things I should do are... I have to make a commit, actually. I do have to... You can't do a test build unless some changes are in Git. So although this is incomplete, we will... commit this. Which one am I working on? RGB. There it is.
Thanks for the resub, Zebedee Boss.
Oh!
Alloy.
Hello, Zeb. How the heck are you? I haven't seen you in forever. As in, I haven't actually seen you because we obviously see each other from time to time. How's things? So I was completely distracted by that. Right, okay. So what have we got here? This is what we want. We want to stage that entry. We want to stage the build even though it's incomplete. And I think we are going to be calling this what now? OBS RGB levels filter. And I can't remember what I'm supposed to do with regards to if I use a commit reference or an unstable reference. So I'm just going to go and take a little look at one I did before. Which one of these? One of these didn't have a... I'm going to just have to look through them. So, one of these didn't have a version number, so I'm looking for that one to figure out how I submitted it. Oh, maybe I did actually give it a number because I knew it had a version number. Okay, let's see. Oh, there we go. Use the unstable reference. Okay, there we go. So, oh gosh, what's happening in there? Unstable. Okay. That will do. Oh, you've already worked on it. Okay. So, Takov, have you got a branch for this already? Ah, right. Okay. Well, maybe I should go and have a look then. Shall I just go and steal what you've done? Add it to this one. Or have you submitted a PR for it yet? I didn't see one in the tracker. Oh, right. Okay. Well, hey, Zeb. I'm sorry to hear you've not been well. But I'm glad to hear that you're on the mend. Oh, and you've retired now. Okay. Crikey. Changes indeed. We'll have to organise a meet-up, you know, and get everyone together again. Right, okay, so I've got a question here. Any reason why you limit the platforms to just x86 64 and i686 Linux? The only reason being is that at the moment I can't qualify that they actually build and work on ARM, because I'm not doing these initial rounds of builds and tests on ARM. But it's something I'm going to loop back to, test, confirm works, and for each of them that work, I will update the platform support. They should work, but I've never run any of these plugins on ARM on any operating system. So I will go back and do that as a second pass. At the moment, my objective is this: get all of these plugins in Nix packages for PC so I can get off Ubuntu onto NixOS on my main machines. The only thing stopping me from doing that is not being able to live stream. So there we go. Hopefully that answers your question. But yeah, I will circle back to it. If you've got devices and the means to test, by all means, add comments on the PRs that I've got, and I'll gladly update them. Okay, it's in your Git repo, but you haven't started the PR. Okay, do you want me to stop working on this one then, Takov, and I'll just move on to something else? Or shall I press on? I'll wait to see what Takov has to say about that. Everyone see that Microsoft are planning on...
Thank you for the follow, Harry Holster.
Hello, Harry. Welcome to the stream. No. Microsoft are going to do their own ARM-based chips. Yeah, well, it's going to be all the rage, isn't it? Yeah, I've got 3 ARM laptops I'm going to be working on with NixOS in the not-too-distant future. Right then. I just wasn't able to do the testing, actual practical test. Yeah, so I think you joined a little bit after. So you've got it going, you think, Takov. Okay, I'll park this one then. If you think you've got this one done and dusted, I will just move on and I'll leave that one to you. What I'll do is... Okay, so what I'll do then is I will update this one. I will add you on this one and do the whole convert it to an issue thing. Right, that's yours. I'll leave that with you. And my branch is pushed, so I should have a repo here that you can reference should you need to, but I don't think you're going to have anything that I don't, but I will bung it in the thingy anyway, in the tracker. View all. It's a lot of branches emerging. So did I push it? Oh, I haven't pushed it. I haven't pushed my branch. Let me know in Takov, let me know in Discord if you want me to push that branch at some point or other. I'll leave it for now, but if you need it, just let me know. Right then, okay, so where are we going to go then? We'll come back to here. So, oh gosh, okay, I'm not fancying taking on either of these, but let's grab one. So StreamFX will be interesting because actually the way that I've been building StreamFX in OBS Studio Portable for Ubuntu is to disable pretty much all of it, because so much of it is documented as being deprecated for either completely or features that just do not work on Linux. So I disable all of that. So I think really the only thing that builds in StreamFX is the blur filter, and the NVENC encode UI. And the only thing I really need is the blur filter, because the upstream NVENC implementation is pretty much, it's not as tunable, but it's good enough. You can overcome it through just brute forcing bitrate. So King Egypt says, okay. Out of interest, does anyone have an ARM machine powerful enough to run OBS? I've seen all sorts of new chips come out recently. Interested to know what they're like. The answer to that question is probably yes, to some extent at least. The difficulty is that all of the media acceleration is almost bespoke for each SoC. So you're not building, like, the actual basics like software implementation of OBS will be fine. But when you get into the specifics of hardware accelerated encoding, then that gets a bit more tricky. So it's something I want to look at, though. It should technically be feasible to run OBS Studio on a Raspberry Pi 4 and hook up all of the required video acceleration for H.264 encoding. Should be entirely doable. I'm looking down here because there's a stack of laptops next to me, one of which is Lenovo Windows on Snapdragon thing that I want to get running Linux. That GPU doesn't have good acceleration support at all, so that's probably a non-starter. As for the Pinebook Pro, which is up there, that may be feasible, but I will get to that at some future date. Take a look at that. So yeah, But if you just want software, OBS running in software, you can do that on a Raspberry Pi 4. Oh, here we go. That's exactly what TechOff is saying. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I was able to run, but hardware encoding is garbage. Okay, it doesn't follow any reasonable standard. Did you get the hardware encoding hooked up? Because there's two entry points into that. There's the MMAL implementation, and then the Dismanex and all of, there's multiple ways to get at that. I have used it in the past just with FFmpeg, and it was reasonable, but anything over 30 frames per second wasn't really decent. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So Takeoff and I are in agreement. Yeah, 720 at 30 was the best I was able to get out of it. Yeah, that is consistent with my findings. So there we go. That's interesting. Right. Okay. Let's have a go at the the Pinebook Pro. Mine too. I need to drag it out and get it updated. So let's have a go at this WebSocket plugin, because this is the WebSocket 4 implementation. So I require both. Obviously, OBS Studio, was it 28 onwards, came with WebSocket 5 baked in. But a lot of the stuff that I'm using for automation is still using WebSocket 4. So I have a command line utility that is what I bind my Stream Deck keys with, and that is WebSocket 4. And so is Boatswain, if anyone's using that as well. So this is kind of important. So let's convert this to an issue. Oh, golly gosh. I'm not looking forward to this one. I think this is going to be painful. Almost certainly it's not going to work, I don't think. At least I won't be able to get it to build straight away, I don't think. So we're going to have to call this something other than OBS WebSocket, aren't we? Because that... Oh no, actually we're not. Let's just go and have a look in Nix packages. Because technically this shouldn't exist in Nix packages anymore. Let's look here. Let's just search for WebSocket, see what we find. Ah, oh, go away. No, nothing immediately obvious. So let's just search for OBS. There'll be some packages in here. Oh my gosh, I wish this would go away. Right then. NDI. I'm just looking at the last stable release because I was wondering if maybe it was in there and got removed, but I don't see it. So let's look in unstable. I have actually configured this to stop doing that, but it refuses to listen. Right then. Oh, there's source clone. That was what we added the other day. So that's my first plugin that's been merged. Okay. So there isn't one. That's good. Okay, so this is actually not an issue. Right then. Okay, let's have a bash at this then. So I think we need to build off a specific branch, which is this branch here, or maybe this one. So what I'll do is I will go and look at my own project. And let's have a look at the 29. They should all be Outtree now. So let's take a look at WebSocket. Here we go. So that's what I am currently building to provide this. So let's grab that. Yeah, okay. So let's go back to the master branch. Also, the NixOS repository moves, the Nix packages repository moves fast. So I'm in the habit of refetching master. And once that's done, I will then re-sync. Oh gosh. So you can see things are slow. And that is on account of... I don't want that. Close. Remote is what I'm interested in here. I want to... Okay. No, that's the wrong one. I don't want origin. That's the one we want. So let's fast forward my master branch and then we'll create a new branch here. You can see this is lagging, and this is because the Git client is actually struggling to keep up. So we'll do that. OBS WebSocket. I think I can get away with calling it this, and it's just the version number that's going to have to change. So we'll take that and we may as well grab this while we're here. And we now need to create a new one of these. So we're in the right thing. So code WebSocket.nix. Just drop that in as a placeholder for now. And there we go. So I'm now going to override this here. So this is what I was interested to see. I may have to put something in this to say it's only relevant for OBS Studio 28 onwards, but we'll see. So let's there we go. That should do it. Maybe I will add a comment here. There we go. That should then at least explain why that change has been made to any reviewers. Right, I see there are some comments. Let me just have a quick look. Okay. Yeah, OMX. Yeah, okay. I'm just catching up on the Raspberry Pi. Okay, so TCAS says you've probably already covered this, but you should drop. Yeah, I know. It's on my list. I would have switched from LastPass to Bitwarden more promptly, except for the fact that my wife and daughter use the same LastPass account, so actually it's a bit more involved me switching, because I've got to re-educate them on what tools to use and how to use them and all the rest of it. But it's on my list of things to do. Right then. Yeah, this is an interesting point as well. So I used to have a weekly meeting with Eben and the engineering team at Raspberry Pi Trading. This is when I worked at Canonical, because we were keeping pace with the developments in Raspberry Pi mainline kernel and things like, you know, their libcamera support, so that we could move Ubuntu and its Raspberry Pi support at the same pace that the Raspberry Pi Trading were doing it for Raspberry Pi OS. It's been a couple of years since I've been involved in any of those catch-ups, but I'm aware of the process and I still observe from afar. Right then. Yeah, so TCAS, you understand, yeah. I only recently, I say recently, probably a couple of years ago, got everyone on board with using LastPass, and now they're comfortable with it. It's like they don't like things constantly changing. So yeah, I have to choose my battles in terms of making big changes to technology in the household. Right then, so we've got that. Let's go and close this one, because it was in a different branch, so it doesn't exist anymore. Let's go and version this accordingly. So this is going to present. I'm just going to have to go with instincts on this, because I'm pretty sure I ain't going to get this wrong, and in review it's going to be pushed back. So let's go and deal with some of this. Now, I'm pretty certain that there is a WebSocket library that will need to go in up here as well. So owner. OBS project. Repo is OBS. It's a branch as well. I wonder how I do that. So there we go. That's something I'm going to have to learn. I wonder if I can just get away with that. I wonder if I can get away with that. I do not know. So let's take a look here. Oh, is it a tag actually that I'm building from? Oh, brilliant. It is. Haha. Okay, that's good then. That's good then. So we've now got an actual version we can go with. Okay, that's much easier. So that, in fact, is now our version. Okay, and this can be version like so. We'll leave that blank for now. We'll leave that. We'll leave all of that alone, unless we'll leave it alone for now. So let's just take a look here. Okay, let's. I wonder what we should be calling this one. Doesn't have a. Maybe in the releases we can get an appropriate name. Okay. Yeah, I'd like to move off it, but I simply cannot. Okay.
Thank you for the follow, Digital Sparky.
Hello, Digital Sparky. Welcome to the stream. Let's go here. So. There we go. I think that is an appropriate description. Let's grab this. As the URL. Okay, so what have we got? We've got no post install, and we think we've got the appropriate version. So let's go and see what the... let's go and look at my builder. Might be easier to do this here, actually. Let's go here. No, not there. Okay. Okay, then let's have a little look. I do have some. Well, here we go. This is what I'm looking for. So patches. These are the build requirements for specifically that WebSocket thing. So let's just take a little look at that. And see what those build dependencies are and find the equivalent in the Nix packages. Okay. So if we're building the newer version, we need those things. I wonder if we actually need to pull this in, or if these are going to be submodules. Let's go with submodules and see what happens. Are you using Nix Locate? I have set up Nix Locate. I wouldn't say I'm using it a whole load, but I have it set up. It's no good here, of course, because technically this is Ubuntu. I'll get into that. I think maybe that's probably a good idea to dig into like some of the helpers and productivity tools for doing stuff with Nix. Okay, I'm just going to leave it alone and assume that they're submodules and it's going to work. And if it doesn't, because technically the WebSocket should be a submodule for OBS Studio Source itself. So let's just see what happens. So we are going to assume that this is all fine. That will error and we're expecting it. That's a reasonable description. Okay, let's save that. Save this. Let's go and commit this to the branch. Come on. There we go. This is OBS WebSocket. And this was 4.9.1-compat. Is what we're doing. So we'll commit those changes locally. And now I remind myself of the build command. So actually just that should probably do it. In fact, just dot. Yeah, name of plugin. OBS WebSocket. Let's see what happens. So this should throw out an error saying that the SHA-256 sum for the contents of that repo is bogus. And then we'll go and drop that in as a change. And I was trying to pre-calculate these and put these in up front, but oh, actually, I may need the Qt 6 stuff for this, thinking about it. I may need to call this as a Qt 6 build, because this has a UI element. So, as in, it's a front-end plugin. So I may have to change the way that this is being invoked. Right. I should have done a test build before I came on stream, so I had an up-to-date cache. Right, there we go. So we'll take that. We'll drop that in the... I didn't mean to do that. Drop that in here.
Thank you for the follow, Pepe-san27.
Hello, Pepe-san. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. So let's rebuild that with the hash now. It should go a bit quicker, so I should have all of the derivations locally. So we should just get into a build. There we go. That's what I was wondering. So the reason why this has failed is this needs to be built as a Qt thing. So we need to go and edit the default.nix file. And you'll notice some of these have got this. And we will need to do that. There. And then I need to change. So one that is like this was OBS NDI. There was one that I did for this. One of my pull requests. Would have been one of Exceldro's. Probably transition table. Let's just go and take a little look at that. So if we look at transition table in the default, there's, yeah, Qt 6. And then we had to add Qt base here to the passed in and the build inputs. And then we had to use don't wrap here as well. So let's grab that and Qt base needs to be in the pass in, pass through, and build outputs. So do that. Do that and that. So let's try building that again. I didn't mean to change. Let's give that a go. Right then. So let's have a look here. What have we got? We've got some stuff here. So Takov had some good advice on on how to use NixLocate. So NixLocate filename.so, grep that, which only gives me libraries that are including these files. Right. So, and Takov says, I'm now looking for an RX 6400 or equivalent so that my desktop could go under 100 watts when pushing the GPU. Yeah. What is it you're doing with the GPU? Just out of interest. Is it just for encoding or playing video back or something like that? So Zebedee upgraded his 2080 Ti. It was a long time since we've spoken about your 2080 Ti to a 4070. Yeah, I've just upgraded the box behind me, which is our games machine, to an RX 6700. In fact, let me show you a thing. Oh, how did that build go? Oh, there we go. So I am going to have to include some additional build dependencies, it looks like. Right. So we'll circle back to that in just a moment and add those build depths in. That should be okay. We'll see how we go. But before we do, so... oh, in fact, it's here. Get on the right screen. So, I've just posted this, Steambox versus Steam Deck. So this is all about that box of tricks behind me and how and why I ended up making a Steambox instead of buying a Steam Deck. So there you go, wimpysworld.com. It's the most recent post. If you're interested in that sort of thing, go and have a read. Right then, let's see what we can do about fixing this build issue. So the first one is ASIO. So let's go and have a look in Nix packages. And we're building against unstable. So let's look here. I wonder if we need a specific version. Well, let's just try. I think I'm going to need this as well. So let's do ASIO and WebSocket PP. Well, let's not. Let's see what works and what doesn't. So we'll add ASIO. And I think I'll need to add this here as well. Keep going to Alt-Tab away when I'm doing it down here. Let's see how that goes. So,
Thank you for the follow, Max CFM.
hey Max, welcome to the stream. So Takov's use case for his GPU is a lightweight gaming VA API encoding. Okay, very good. And you've got a 580. Yeah, I've got a 580 in my back catalogue of GPUs. Man, that is a power pig. It runs so hot, that thing. So yeah, I don't use it anymore. It's a real power pig. Whereas the 6700, which replaced a 5700, runs at the same power draw. The 6700 is the same power draw as the 5700, but significantly better. And that build is finished now. I will never upgrade that. It will just be that build forever and for always. And Digital Sparky says, my laptop has a 980M. Right, okay, it's the only real GPU I own for now. So that's interesting as well, because my laptop, I think my laptop is a 980M. So that's an NVIDIA. Is that an NVIDIA 980M you're referring to there? I had one with a 960, but I've given that laptop away during lockdown to somebody who needed a laptop more than I did. My new laptop has got AMD integrated. The 680, do they call it the 680M? I think. It's surprisingly decent. No, so don't worry about this. It's not a password. The NixOS search engine is provided by this Bonsai search or whatever it is, and every time you go to the NixOS search, it flashes up that prompt. No idea what it is. It's not a password or any credential of mine. I've even tried instructing LastPass to ignore it, but it simply refuses to do so. I will find a better way. So here we go. Oh, it looks like WebSocket is required as well. So let's go and add that. We'll just make a an assumption it's going to be this. So WebSocket PP. Let's go and add that to our build and see what we get. Now, the reason why I'm being a little bit like build it, break it about this is because I've spent many years maintaining packages in Debian and Ubuntu and also Arch Linux and what have you. And I'm familiar with the package names and the process, but I am still learning the ropes here in terms of NixOS, so I'm just picking through things. What I don't want to do is, because of the way Nix satisfies the dependencies in what's called a closure, I don't want to over cater for the dependencies. So I'm just want to get to a point at which it builds with the minimum number. Oh, in fact, there it is. That it has now built. That's surprising. So if I tree the result, it should look like an OBS Studio plugin, except it's in the wrong directories, which is fine, because we will now go and add a post-install cleanup. But that has built the thing. Holy smoke, that's amazing. Right then, I didn't expect that one to go so well, because the other plugin I've had difficulty with refused to just pick up the additional dependencies that I added. So we don't need those CMake additional rules, because that's what I would use for an Exceldro plugin, but we do want to put a post-install script in, probably very similar to one I've done before. So let's take a look at one of these other plugins. Which one now? Which one? Probably Vintage Filter.
Thank you for the follow, Tobanautilus.
Hello, Tobanautilus. Welcome to the stream. Thanks for stopping by. Right then, let's take a look at this. There we go. This looks like it does all the right things. So I'm going to grab that and drop that in here. Oh. We'll now do another. Oh gosh. Now do another build and check the result. So when Nix builds software, the result goes in a directory called result. And I'm familiar enough with building stuff for OBS Studio that I know by sight what the directory structure should look like. So that's all I'm doing at the moment. I'm eyeballing this. I'm not going to test these builds until later. But if I tree the result now, you can now see it's put the plugin in what I recognize to be the correct path for the way that OBS Studio plugins work on Nix. And here we go. We can now see that the data is in the correct spot. So we will now head here and we will get all of that pushed together. Which one were we doing? OBS WebSocket. I'm delighted that that one went well, actually. I really expected this one to cause me some difficulty. Oh, come on. I may have to learn lazy git because working on Nix packages with Git Kraken, I need to configure a whole bunch of filters. Okay, so let's stage that, and in fact all of this is irrelevant, so we'll just call this fix add SHA-256 build with Qt6 ASIO and WebSocket PP. Now we're going to squash those two down. So let's squash those two commits down to 1 and then edit this commit message and get rid of all of this cruff. Come on. There we go. Don't need that in there now. That's because when I submit this upstream as a pull request, I really only want one commit that has everything in it. So I think I've done the right thing here in terms of that comment, and this all looks sensible and we know it builds. So what we'll do now, this is a slightly lengthier step. We'll run the Nix review packages against that. And this actually tests that it builds against the current source tree upstream. So we're going to run this command here. And this is going to take a good old while because this is going to have to update to the current set of derivations. So while that runs, we can go and look at the progress we've made. Go away. We can push that up, actually, thinking about it. So let's push that branch up. And we'll grab that. So this was the one we were working on earlier. We don't need that anymore. Branches. I should now have a... Oh. Why am I not seeing my... Oh. Why am I not seeing it here? Did I not push that? Oh, it's still going. Oh, there we go. It's only just finished. Okay, that'll be why I didn't see it then. Right then, there we go. Jolly good. So we'll take that. Display branch. We'll go here. We'll grab the this, because I'll need that when I come to submit it. I've been doing this as just a bit of courtesy to make sure I've provided decent evidence that it built successfully. And when that's done, we'll be able to drop the build report in here, which I will also need when I submit it upstream after it's been tested a bit later on. So let's have a look here. What have we got? I'm half expecting Wimpy's house to get struck by lightning. Can't cope with the solid string. Yes. Yes. So, you may remember when I was streaming from here recently, there was a whole bunch of network outages. I lost the internet. I've had my fiber upgraded since then. So, I'm not saying it's reliable, but it hasn't gone wrong since I had the upgrades done. So, we shall see how it holds up over time. So yeah, here, traditionally, have the internet goes out whilst I'm streaming, and at the office, the new problem is the power flips, and I still haven't identified the root cause of that. I'm quite concerned. I feel like I'm going to have to strip that box down and change the power supply. It's my best guess at the moment. Right. I don't have any expensive surge protectors. I have fairly cheap sort of spike protectors on the plugs, but not. No, I used to have a UPS here because the power here used to be terrible years and years ago. So everything was UPS'd in this room, but not anymore. Right then. Okay, let's see how that build is coming along. We're nearly done. So how long does this Nix review packages take on your system? Because it doesn't seem to matter how much you throw at it. This is a slow process. I'm running this on a fairly pokey Threadripper, and it doesn't move the needle at all in terms of how much time it takes compared to my other machines. Report.md is what I want. That is my receipt that I will need. So let's drop that in here. So I've now got all of the assets for that one. So we'll comment with that. And this is in a good place. And so as it's in a good place, dare I tackle stream effects? I know this is going to be interesting. Why not? Well, hang on a minute. Let's think about this. Do I really want to tackle this one? Let's make a start. This used to be so important to my workflow, but actually it's really only the blur plugin. I'm so tempted to fork it. Well, not fork it, just yoink the blur code out of this and wrap it in a CMake. Right, convert that to an issue. assign me. Right then. Let's go back here and back to master branch. Let's close the WebSocket. Default will have reverted automatically. That's fine. Let's go and fetch NixOS. And scroll down. Once this is done, come on. Find master. And fast forward mine to current upstream. Okay. Let's go here. I think we know what we need to do in terms of naming and what have you. So this is the name we're going with. Right. Create a new branch. OBS Stream FX. Need to drop out of that preview build. We're in the right place. So we are going to, let's think about this. So the way that I've built StreamFX is to disable lots and lots of it. Hey Steve, how the devil are you? Thanks for stopping by. A mini reunion here, you and Seb. Right, okay. Right then, let's think. I need to add StreamFX. And I don't think we need to do the whole Qt thing, because I'm actually going to build this without its front end component. Hey Rocket Wolf, how you doing? Welcome back. So let's try this. And I think we'll do the usual and copy from an existing plugin into there. So let's go and grab, well, we just did WebSocket and we're not going to need some of the build stuff that this had. So we'll just drag that over. We'll drop ASIO, Cubase and WebSocket. This is going to be StreamFX. Probably going to have to add FFmpeg and what have you up here, but we'll deal with that. We'll... Oh, actually, yeah. Owner is, yeah, we need to change all of that. Repo is going to be, whoops. Drop that. Drop ASIO. Drop Cubase. And that. We may need Cubase, I'm not certain. We'll just leave that there in case we do. We'll leave all of this out for the moment because I just want to see how it builds with. So let's go and grab. So it's Zaymar. And maybe we'll use that description. Come on, brain. Unfortunately, we're going to disable most of what it does, but that's fine. Okay. So stream, well, so Steve's very own makes this observation. So StreamFX is turning into a paid plugin. Kind of. Zaymar is putting the precompiled builds of StreamFX behind a paywall. But as you can see, I'll just get rid of your thing here. It is GPL2 licensed, and here is the source code. And I know how to compile software, so you can just build it yourself. You know, so whilst it's paid, I've been continuing to build and ship StreamFX in OBS Studio Portable for Ubuntu, because it's just source code. So yeah, he's obviously been wanting to find a way to sort of finance his work, and that's what he's done. And I know there's been some pushback in the community regarding how he's gone about that. So let's what's also happened, Steve, is that a bunch of features that exist in here have basically been spun out as standalone plugins that discreetly implement bits of what it does, what StreamFX can do. And I have been considering doing it for the Blur plugin, because I think that's the only filter. As you're about to see, if I get anywhere through this, I'm about to disable probably 80% of StreamFX in the build, because I now use Exeldro's source clone plugin instead of the source mirroring in StreamFX. For example, I use Exeldro's 3DFX plugin instead of the 3D filter in StreamFX. So there, I have found actively maintained equivalents of the stuff that I use. So we need to go and grab a version number out of this. What's the current tag? It's not this one, because we need a current, that one. When did this release? Because I don't think I've built this in OBS Studio Portable recently. Why is there no date stamp? Oh, last month. Okay, so that probably is what I've got in OBS Studio Portable, in which case. Okay, let's go and drop a version number in here. Okay, we've got a version, we've got no hash, we've got a description, we've got a home page. That's enough to break a build, I think. So let's save that, save this. Ah, no, actually, I do need to go and actually do a whole bunch of the CMake stuff. So if we go and look in OBS Studio Portable, if I go and have a look in here, and let's just go, let's look for StreamFX. Here we go. This is all the stuff I turn off. So we will go and add all of that to the build flags as stuff to disable. So let's go to, I need to, yeah, drop this in here. And then go and grab an example of where we use CMake. Let's think. Let's just grab 3DFX as an example. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. We'll need to copy that and drop that in here. And then we will start doing this. I wonder how I should go about this. I think I can do it line by line. So I think we'll just do like that, maybe. Do each one line by line, add them all in. So the reason I'm disabling this auto framing is because there is no support for this on Linux at all. So there's no point in even having the build system try and determine whether it can build this stuff or pull down the submodules for the various SDKs, because it won't build. It's just a waste of time having it try and evaluate that this is a thing. So all of these things that I'm disabling at the moment are all not Linux features. So we'll just tell the build system don't bother. This virtual green screen, the same. This is because these all use the NVIDIA SDKs, which are, let's say, embryonic in terms of their Linux support, and certainly this sort of stuff is not being tested with them. So now we're looking at the FFmpeg encoder for AMF, which is the AMD media framework, advanced media framework, I think they call it. And we're disabling this because that is now implemented in upstream OBS Studio. And this is a deprecated feature of StreamFX. And similarly, AV1 is implemented in upstream OBS, so we don't need to enable it in StreamFX because it is deprecated. So the displacement filter, I can't remember what that is. There is a reason why it's turned off. It could well be because it requires an NVIDIA SDK of some description. Transform. I can't remember what that one is. I'll have to go and have a look in a moment. In fact, let's go and have a quick look now. What did I say? 3D. Oh, transform is replaced by 3DFX from Xeldro. Shaders, we're using shader filter from Xeldro. Here we go, source mirror. So hit Xeldro to the rescue. Actively maintained equivalents. Dynamic mask, I don't use that anymore. It's weird, and I can't imagine many people are using it for much. Color grading, that's useful, but I don't use it. Blur's the only one I use, and the NVIDIA stuff, but I'm getting to the point where I don't think that's necessary either. So we'll turn off these bits. The shader filter we're going to turn off because that's got an implementation from Xeldro in Nix package, well, in my pull requests. And transition shape. So now some of these I may not turn off because that is, I know, something I needed to do for Ubuntu and Debian. I'm not 100% on how this is being built in Nix, so I'm going to just drop that line for the time being. But we will disable the front end because we don't need it. In fact, it's a scar on the OBS Studio user interface. And we don't need the automatic updater because, of course, we're building this from source. So having an updater is not helpful, particularly on NixOS, which is relocated. All the binaries are relocated, so you can't just grab a binary off the internet and have it work. So that should mean that I don't have to use the Qt-based stuff. So let's give that a go. Let's get that all in the system. Gosh, why have we... Oh, because shows something from the very bottom. So let's add that and that. Let's go and grab the appropriate commit message. And wrong place entirely. Let's drop that in there. This is going to be...
Thank you for the follow, Matty_2shoes.
Hello, Matty2shoes. How are you? Welcome to the stream. 0 beta 202. Oh, there we go. 0.12.0 B202. That is what we need. I think that number's right, isn't it? Okay, so let's watch this build fail so we can go and make it do the right thing. OBS Stream Effects. So we're fully expecting this to fall over because it doesn't have a hash for the content of the archive. Hey Matty. So Matty comments, hello, funny that you whisper, people, and thank you for following too. Yes, that would be some automation happening there. But I can see them up here, so I can see whispers with everyone that's followed or whatever this stream up here in my my little deck. So yeah, I kind of like that. I thought that was a nice little touch. Wow, we've had a lot of new followers today. Thank you, everyone. That's amazing. I'm just looking at how many there are. There's loads of them. Who's this Linux Matters? Oh, naughty, whoever did that. We should be... I should track you down. Right then. So welcome to the stream, Matty. Right then. Let's just drop that. There we go. How are we doing? There we go. Here's our hash that we need. So let's go and drop that in. What am I doing? Not here. There. Save that and go again. Yep, okay. Happy lurking, Matty. Version. Unknown version. What have I done wrong there? CMake command version. What have I done here? I've obviously done something wrong there. Is that supposed to be referenced in a different way? Let's have a look at one of these. Yeah. Okay. Quoted and ref. Okay. Quoted. Yeah. Okay. What? Why is that not happy? So that's a moment of confusion. I don't actually know why that's fallen over. What have I missed there? Why is that not happy? Unknown CMake command version. I'm beginning to wonder that that's not actually my screw up. I'm wondering if that might actually be something in the StreamFX CMake which is changed. Maybe it's not supported in. Okay, let's go and have a look at right, 3.25. So yeah, there's no older builds. CMake. Hello, Kuros. Welcome back. So it's possible the question. Well, I'm sure it's not. So, can I install OBS Studio with these plugins in my Ubuntu 22.04 instance with the help of a Nix build system? The short answer is yes. The long answer is, in order to use Nix packages that use things like OpenGL, which OBS Studio does, requires you to do some other scaffolding of Nix. There's a module called NixGL, which provides Nix pathing to Nix's GL, Vulkan, and all the rest of it when you're running Nix packages on non-NixOS. It's a bit of a faff. It can be done, but I have a simpler solution for you. If you are on Ubuntu 22.04 and you want a version of OBS Studio with all the plugins included, then that's the wrong one, isn't it? I want this project here is what you want. I'll just drop this into chat. This is a portable build of OBS Studio for Ubuntu, and it includes currently 46 plugins, and they're all documented here, and this will tell you how to grab that and install it. So it's a portable build, so it's not a deb. It means that you can have multiple instances of OBS Studio installed at the same time, which I find useful because I usually have a version of my OBS which is in bits on the floor whilst I'm tinkering with stuff, and then a stable version that I don't mess with until I know things are working properly. So there we go. Now, as to why this build is failing, I do not know.
Follow Craft Code here.
Hello, Craft Code. Welcome to the stream. So, as I said at the very beginning of all of this, if I encounter a failure, I'm just going to fail fast and breeze on by it, because I will go and do research to figure out why things aren't working. So what we'll do is we'll get this commit this SHA committed, because that's probably correct. It is correct. In fact, we know that to be true. So we'll just do fix SHA-256. We'll do that. We'll get this pushed up into my branch. And I'll then squish those two together. You're welcome, Kuros. I hope it is helpful. And we'll just edit. Did that not edit the commit message? Don't need that. Update that and push that up. force push. Yeah, of course it's a force push. There we go. Right then, so that is in progress. And have I put that in the right spot? I think I have, haven't I? Okay, so WebSocket Compat I need to test, but that's probably done. Takov's working on RGB levels. I need to learn more here and learn more here. So I think that is what I can do. So I think what I'll need to do is start working through some of these, and I'm not going to start on those now. I think I'll do those on the next stream, and I'm going to start with teleport and vertical canvas and scene as transition. The reason being is that these three, although I'm not currently using, are the next three I know I'm going to be making use of, so I may as well get those done. Then when we get down the rest of the list here, these are things I understand the value of and have experimented with, but don't actually have in my... Hey, Mandy, how are you doing? Welcome back. So those I will circle back to. Don't think there's anything here that I am... Maybe I'll re-add this, because I did notice in my configuration I did use this in the past, and I do have some notes still in my configuration that would probably be useful to access. Okay. All right, then, that's looking good. Right then, I'm just looking. Shame they're not online. Okay, we will head to somewhere a little bit different. Somewhere I've not been for a while. So let's do that. And right, let's try and use my own thing, because I thought I'd made this work. Apparently not. Okay. Right then. So we are going to head to Togglebit. I will be back tomorrow morning, and we'll be doing more of this. I'm glad you like the shirt, Mandy. We'll be doing more of this. Hopefully I'll have figured out those little rough edges, and we'll be packaging up a few more of these bits and pieces. And I know from the ones I've submitted, I've got some reviews to do on the pull requests I've already submitted to Nix Packages for that stuff. So thank you all for coming. I hope I will see you tomorrow. And linuxmatters.sh episode 2 is out later today. So I hope you enjoy that as well. Bye for now. See you in the next one.
Thank you for the follow, Kitty Borg.
Thank you, Kitty Borg.